Hi, fellow Framingham sports fans. I'm Dave Hornfischer. I'm excited to welcome you to our new sports talk program on Access Framingham that's all about sports. We're calling it Framingham Fan to Fan. Our show is going to feature people who are engaged in providing sports programs and events right here in Framingham. Our goal is to give greater visibility to their efforts, to foster both greater participation, but especially fan support from people like you. Going to a professional event in Boston is fun, but it's expensive, it's logistically difficult to get to, and who needs to support impersonal millionaires? I never really knew Big Papi or Tom Brady. My guest today is Ed Mantie, the new head football coach at Framingham High School. He was the head football coach at Westwood High School for 6 years, where he won 3 championships in a very competitive Tri-Valley League. Ed played football himself at Boston University. And well, Ed, welcome. It's great to have you on the show and to have a chance to talk about the improved fortunes of Framingham High School football.
I look forward to talking just about that.
You bring a nice winning tradition here. Tell me a little bit about what you did at Westwood that you think is transferable here to Framingham.
You know, I think the biggest thing that we did at Westwood was, you know, we were certainly never the biggest team. We certainly did not have, you know, the biggest roster, but we had kids that believed in what we were doing. They trusted what we were trying to teach them. They believed in their coaches. They believed in their system, and they trusted their teammates. And that's something that we're certainly going to try to bring here to Framingham. You know, kids are funny that they're only going to give you everything they have if they trust that you have their best interest in mind. And certainly as coaches, that's what you want from your players, is that they're going to give you everything they have. And so our job number one here at Framingham is to get them to trust what we're trying to do, and that so far has been transpired in a little bit that we've been able to work together. So
taking this step, what attracted you to the job in Framingham?
Man, there's so many things. I guess the biggest thing is that you know, there's only 24 Division I programs in Massachusetts, and this Framingham is one of them. And you know, it doesn't get any bigger or higher or better than that in the state of Massachusetts. And so that certainly you know, attracted me to the program. You know, the fact that they've had a limited amount of success over the past couple of years, there's nowhere to go but up. That makes it a lot easier. I mean, you go to a place that's, you know, won state championships 4 years in a row, man, that there's a lot of pressure on you. So you know, we can just go in and do our thing and win a couple games, and we'll have an improvement. So and then the people that you know, are in place there, they have a new athletic director in Paul Spear, who has been fantastic. He's given us everything we've asked for and more. They have new administration coming over, who I had a little bit of a relationship with in my teaching career. So there's a lot of new change, but it's a lot of great change, and so it's exciting.
You got a great facility.
Man, I don't think that there is a better place to play high school football than our home field at Bowditch Field. I mean, you look, it seats 7,000 people, and like I said, there's 70,000 people here in Framingham. You know, we get 10%. We're doing pretty well. We should be able to sell that out all the time, and you know, winning will help that. But great facilities. We got a brand new turf field at the high school that we just got redone. We've redone our locker rooms. We've you know, we certainly don't go wanting in the facilities department.
So if I'm a young kid in Framingham and I'm in Pop Warner, I'm going to go down there on Friday night and watch you guys play, and I'm going to say, I want to do that in 5 years or something.
Well, yeah, that's the plan. I mean, those are the guys that you want to affect. It's you want kids that, you know, our Framingham kids that come to the games on Friday nights, and man, I want to be a part of that. And I want to work towards that goal of being on the field on Friday nights and scoring touchdowns and making tackles and doing those kinds of things. And you know, we're certainly going to involve the youth in our games and get them there on Friday nights and try to get them on the sidelines and get them interested, and you know, have some clinics and work with the youth program, because we have a fantastic youth program here in Framingham. They have a team from 3rd grade on up through 8th grade that have at least 25, 30 kids on each team. So you know, all the pieces are in place. Now we just got to get the kids, you know, going in the right direction and pulling in the same direction and start winning some games.
Well, I think I think you're taking on a big challenge. I've lived in Framingham since 1984. I think I can count on my hands. I don't think I'd need many of my toes to count the number of winning football seasons. And so, you know, what do you think is kind of needs to be changed here? I mean, maybe you're coming in as a clean face and you don't know what you have to change or anything. You're just going to do the job right. But Is there anything that you would kind of point to as the new guy that you see is right off the bat?
Yeah, but, certainly there's a lot of things when you come to a new place like this where, winning or losing breeds culture. And when you've been losing, that culture is, typically not a good one. And so, the first thing that we're kind of trying to focus on is just kids being accountable, is making sure that, they know what's expected of them and that they do it. And whether that's, on the field, knowing what their alignment is, what their assignment is, what play they're supposed to be running, to being in the locker room and knowing that, hey, listen, we're going to keep this locker room clean and neat and pay attention to those kinds of things. So making sure that kids are accountable, because those are things that carry over, not just on the football field, but also in their lives and in the future. Other thing is, Joe Madden, head coach at, the manager for the Cubs. They just won the World Series. He has a saying where he says DSB. That was their big motto for their last year, and DSB stands for Do Simple Better. And I think that's such a great way to look at things. I mean, you don't have to be very intricate. You don't have to do a lot of things. You just got to do a couple things really, really well. And if we're able to do that, we'll be able to build on that and start to get some understanding of what we're trying to do. So those are the two biggest pieces: accountability and just doing the simple things good, blocking, tackling, and running. We do those things well, we'll win some games.
Already you're beginning to sound like Bill Belichick. I mean, my goodness, I think some of the success of the Patriots certainly has to wear off and be a role model for you and for the message you're trying to deliver. And
Sure. I mean, how could it not be? And when you're in New England, those are the guys that you would want to be like. I mean, why wouldn't you? They've certainly got a good thing going over there. I read a lot about Bill Belichick, and because of the success he had, and he's an ultimate teacher. I mean, he has such a great mind, but he never plays it down. So it's not what he knows, it's what his players know. And so the way he goes about teaching those things, the way he goes about preparing his guys for the inevitabilities on the field, and sometimes the things that they have no idea that they're going to even experience, that's what's intriguing about him. And so when kids see, they'll go to the games, I'm sure, and they see a great football team, but it starts from the top down with him just being able to communicate all the things that those guys need to be able to do.
The sad fact, though, is that all the teams that you're playing are all doing the same thing, right?
Of course, yeah.
There probably aren't many high school football coaches that aren't saying that, right?
If they're blind to the Patriots, then they're probably not doing real well themselves.
And you're playing a pretty tough league coming over here, the Bay State, Bay State League, and there's two divisions of that, right?
Yeah, there's a large and small. We're in the large, obviously, because we're a Division I school, and yeah, there's some really good teams. Needham, we played Needham when I was at Westwood for a couple of years, and they're always a good, well-coached team. Dave Duffy's been there for years. Braintree's they're a big school. They get a lot of kids out for the program. Weymouth, Newton North, and Brookline. Newton North won the league last year, and so they're obviously very, very good. It's a great league. And then the smaller division has some teams that are just phenomenal. I'm glad we don't have to play all of them. In Wellesley and Milton and Natick, obviously we play them, but. So it's a very competitive league. It's, Framingham hasn't, I think Framingham has been the homecoming game for a lot of these teams just because we haven't been very good, and hopefully we'll try to change that.
Who's your homecoming game this year?
Play Natick. We play Natick.
Oh, that's Thanksgiving game.
That's the Thanksgiving Day game. As far as homecoming, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I'm sorry.
But Natick is the game.
Yeah, that's the one sure. That we play.
Well, I've seen a couple of wins against Natick when Framingham upset them, even when they didn't have great seasons. And so I think that's always one that that the crowd does get some interest for. But so who are the home opponents this year? Do you know off the top
we open up. Our home opener is September 8th, Friday night, 6:30. Make sure you're there. We start off with Norwood, then we go on the road, and then our next 4 games are home. We play Braintree, we play Brookline, Newton North, and Needham are 4 home games. I'm not sure exactly what the order is. Right. There's a couple Sunday games thrown in there, some for the Jewish holiday, but they're primarily on Friday nights and or Sunday afternoons at 12.
Well, Friday night football, I mean, my son and his family live in Texas, and that's a religion there. And in Framingham, if you walk down the street and found 10 fans like me and asked them about what they do on Friday night, I'm not sure going to Framingham High School football game would be what they said that they were going to do. How do we change that?
Well, the simple answer is we win football games. So you win football games, then people are going to want to come. That's not always the easiest thing to do, but certainly that will help. Excuse me. We've done some community events where we've had the kids out there. There was a recent event, the National Night Out, where we had a little table of football players and had some younger kids, and we were just trying to develop some relationships with those kids to try to get them out to the games. I grew up in a football family. My father was a football coach.
Where was he a coach?
He was a coach in Westchester County, New York.
Oh, really?
Actually, Bedford, New York, at Fox Lane High School, and that's what we did. That was just kind of ingrained in what we did, and it's one of those things where if you put a good product out in the field, people will want to come see it, and that's what our plan is. It's going to be exciting brand of football. We're going to score some points, and then we're going to play the game that should be played, and hopefully the end result will be some wins and some guys to come see it.
You were telling me about your own experience at Boston University, which certainly in this area they don't have football anymore, and they had many years in which I had a friend who was an alum who used to convince me to go to a game, and we and about 50 people might be there, and then all of a sudden I think about the time you were there, things turned around, and you guys were in the national division. Was 1AA?
1AA at that time. Yeah, it's now called the FCS Championship Series. It was the early 90s. My first year there, we were 2-9, and prior to that, they had been just that. They were 3-8, 2-9, 1-10
right.
a couple of years.
I remember those.
And then we had a year where we just kind of everybody on the team stayed up there that summer. Did the lifting, did the running, did the little things that make you a little bit better football team. We had a transfer quarterback, JUCO transfer from California that came out, Rob Doherty, and who was a heck of a player. And we went undefeated and went on and won a couple games in the playoffs. And then the next couple of years, we won 10, 11 games every single year. And coming from that experience will certainly help here.
That's what I was getting at.
I'm sure you were. Yeah, there's no big. It's not. You don't say, all right, now all of a sudden we're going to win games just because this. It's everybody buying into the system. It's everybody trusting that if I do the little extra, those little things, the things that you don't see in a football field. That's sitting up in meetings. It's watching film. It's going to class on time. It's saying yes sir, no sir to the custodians, and those kinds of things. They all have a cumulative effect of making yourself not only a better person, but making your team a better team, and that's what we're going to get to.
Those are such great life lessons.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about your team, about some of the players that you got.
Great.
Want to start with a quarterback, or?
Sure. So we got a nice little quarterback competition coming up, which is great. At Westwood, I was not afforded those opportunities. We only had about 30 guys on the roster, so whoever's
really?
thought he was a quarterback.
So how many people are you going to have?
We're going to have from freshman through senior up over 100.
Wow.
So
okay, that's the basis for a good future program.
I would think so.
But
Yeah.
let's look at this year.
Absolutely. So anyway, quarterback-wise, we have a kid that was kind of forced into action last year as a freshman because they had some injuries at the position. He'll vie for it, and then we have a senior captain who was injured last year. So those two guys, Nick Pageant is the senior, Jack Beverly is the sophomore. They'll vie for the position. Both great kids, both smart kids, good athletic kids, can throw the ball. A mile, so we just got to get their eyes in the right place and knowing what I'm asking them to do. So I feel confident that one of those two guys will do well for us.
And they got some people that can run downfield and catch it?
Yeah, we do. We do. We got a lot of guys. We have speed. We have hands. We just got to put the hands together with the speed, and also to recognize things. Playing receiver, that was my position in college. I was recruited as a quarterback, and then Rob Doherty came to school, and I said, "Can I do anything else?" And so they made me a receiver, and it worked out well. But there's a lot to that position. It's not just run down the field and catch the ball. There's where should I run down the field? What depth do I have to get to? Those kinds of things. Where should my eyes be? And so we have a lot of competition at that spot, and some guys that played last year, and some guys that are new guys coming out for the team for the first year that I think will help us.
And you got some big guys to protect them?
We do. O-line wise, I think that's going to be the strength of our team. We have a kid named Tyler Fitz who played center last year. Will play center for us this year. He's a salt of the earth kind of kid. Works his tail off in all the workouts. He's a very vocal kid, a great kid. He's starting to understand our system real well and what you need out of your center. And we have two guards that also played last year, and Alex Smith and Nico McLaughlin, that they have some experience at the varsity level, who are just, good, hard-nosed kids, good-sized kids. Or our whole line is up over 200 pounds, which for me, that's like, we averaged 180 at Westwood, and we were going up against Needham and holding our own. So, so I think we'll be real good there. We have
running backs.
Running backs, yeah. We have a kid named Hagenbrook that played last year. That is, he's the guy. If we can get him going, that will be that's what we're going to try to do. And he looks the part. He's good size for a running back in high school. He's a downhill runner. If I can get him believing that that hole is going to be there. We went to a camp a couple weeks ago, and he started seeing it and believing it. And man, he's pretty good when he wants to be. And I think we'll get a lot out of him.
Players will have their names on the back of the shirts?
They will not. No. I'm always, when people ask me when people ask me that question, I say, would you rather be recognized or remembered? And everybody could recognize you when your name's on the back of your jersey, but I want people to remember us, and they will remember the team. They won't remember an individual. So.
Okay. So is there a type of offense you're going to play that's going to be? Have you got a system that you're promoting here, or?
Yeah, I have a system that I like that's in place, but as a coach,
you got to have the personnel.
You got to have the personnel, and a lot of times you have to marry up what you're doing with the personnel that you have. I could have a great passing offense with all the schemes and everything, but if you don't have a guy that can catch the ball or a guy that can throw it, it's just not going to work. So, we're going to marry up with what I've done in the past to the talent that I have, and we're typically a spread pistol offense. We can go under center and do some things, and if we in New England, you're always going to get 2 or 3 bad weather games, so you got to be able to kind of have a change of pace offense, so we'll do that as well. But we're going to score some points, and we'll do that.
I guess we should talk a little bit about the defense.
Let's hope so.
A 41-7 loss or something isn't all the offense's fault, right?
No,
it's not all the defenses either, probably.
No, sometimes you're given the
offense gives turnovers, that's for sure. But,
absolutely.
So in high school, typically a lot of the good offensive players play defense.
Yeah, there's a lot of two-way players, in high school. Like you said, if you got a good player, you're going to want to try to find them. You're going to want to get them on the field. But from a defensive standpoint, we try to take away what offenses like to do best. That's our main focus each week. We'll whether it be a player, whether it be a scheme, whether it be they like to run the ball to their sideline. The majority of the time, we'll try to figure out what you do best, take that away, and then see what else you got. We have a very adaptable defense. We run a 3-4 defense that we can line up against double tight teams, or we can play against 4 or 5 wide teams, and without a lot of coaching and adjusting that has to be done. So I have a defense coordinator that's been with me for 6 years at Westwood. He's coming over with me, Doug Carilli. He's fantastic. He's a football savant. He's also one of the most motivating guys that I know. He believes in what we're doing. He's great with the kids. He gets about every ounce of everything that the kids will have. So between him and this other guy, John McLaughlin, who is my D-line coach and tight end coach, who also does a lot of our video stuff, those guys are just fantastic as far as scheming and making sure that their kids know what they're doing.
I'm really impressed with the fact that you said you had almost 100 people interested in the whole program and coming out to play. There's been a fair amount of controversy these days about head injuries in youth football and numbers going down in certain places. What's both the experience that you've seen here as well? What are you doing at the high school team and in this league? The league probably has some rules, and I suspect the team does too, that provide some protection.
Yeah, absolutely. First I'll give you kind of what we do, and I'm not blind to the fact of everything that's been talked about with concussions. How do you not be? I do think that people look to football because it's a contact sport, but when I was at Westwood, we had more girl soccer players with concussions than we did football players. Because they're heading the ball, or they're not wearing helmets, or they're falling down on the ground and those kinds of things. But anyway, first thing is proper teaching, and we do tackling, and every time that we practice tackling, we practice without helmets. And as soon as they get very good at that, they learn that, all right, if I don't have a helmet on, then I have to use my shoulder pad. And if I use my shoulder pad, then I'm tackling correctly. And that takes their head right out of it. And so they get used to doing that. And so we've had, we had a limited amount of concussions when I was at Westwood just because of proper teaching. And that's what I think needs to take place, obviously not only at the high school level, but at the youth level. And that will kind of curb a lot of this discussion about, oh, football is such a bad sport. It's the teaching. I mean, if you're teaching a kid that to go run into something as fast as he can with it, and he's got this beautiful $300 helmet, yeah, he's going to run into it with his helmet. And there weren't a lot of concussions when we were wearing leather helmets. That's because they knew how to tackle with their shoulder. So, just the proper teaching, I think, will lessen a lot of that kind of stuff. That's certainly stuff that we do. We limit the amount of contact we have during the week. We only have one hitting day because there's studies out there that show that it's not just that one hit, it's the repetitive nature of football where you're making head contacts all the time. We don't do, we have one day that we practice that we do hitting. So, all those things, have really, really helped us in where I was in the past. I'm sure it'll help us here. I've had discussions with parents and certainly they're well within their rights to want to hold kids out, but, you can't put a bubble wrap on your kid. I mean, I've always said, and I've had this discussion with my wife at times. I said the worst thing that we can do with our kids sometimes when they're on their bikes is put their helmets on, because when you have a helmet on, you never ever learn how to fall. When I was going up, I never had a helmet on when I was riding my bike, and when I'd fall off my bike, the first thing I would do is I would do this, and then you learn how to protect yourself. And now we put all these great helmets on kids, and they don't never learn how to protect themselves. So the
thought is use your head, not your head.
Exactly, pretty much. I like it. Well said. Well said.
Yeah. So. I'm on this show. One of the things that I really am emphasizing is trying to get people in the Framingham community to come out and support these programs, and especially the football program, which is kind of a cornerstone program. It probably shouldn't be, but it is. This is America in 2017. It still is in that direction, but because I think in many ways a local community helps define itself in ways by going together to common events, and whether it's a concert a music concert or a play that the theater department is putting on, or a football program. These are town events that the town taxpayers are paying for. It's a town event that where we can come together, and even if you don't watch the football game, the show is lots of times. Are you, as the football coach, do you have any responsibility for the cheerleaders or the band, or do you have to integrate with them somehow, or how?
I couldn't imagine myself trying to coordinate any of that stuff. I'm not very musically inclined, but that's exactly what it is. It's not just football. It's the interaction with the people in your town, and I should say in your city, in your community. It's going to support kids that they don't just show up on Friday nights and play football. I mean, there's a lot of work and there's a lot of effort that go into what you see on a Friday night. And that's not just the football players, that's the cheerleaders, like you said, that's the band, like you said, that's people selling raffle tickets, it's the people that line the field. It's a show. It's a product that there's a lot that goes into it. And I know as my father was a football coach. There was no other place that we were on Friday nights. We were at the football game, and obviously I had a vested interest in it, but I couldn't imagine myself missing one of those things, because it shows so much support for your town, and we're going to put a good product on the field. It's something that the city's going to be proud of. Win, lose, or draw, we're going to play the game, like I said, the right way. It's going to be exciting, and I encourage everybody to get out there and come support us, and it'll be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be an evolution as a new coach coming into a team that won a grand total of one game last year.
Yep.
And so, like when Dick Williams took over the Red Sox in '67, he said our goal is to win more than we lose, and so that's probably a big goal. But I mean, if you did better than last year, it's going to be a success.
Certainly.
And I think the main thing is that the team is competitive, that they're playing hard, and my son was in a marching band, and we used to go to watch the games because he was in the band.
Yeah.
I mean, and having there's going to be 100 kids lined up on the side. Are the freshmen dressing for the
freshmen? Won't dress, no, because some of their games are on Friday afternoons.
Okay.
I mean, I'm the head coach, and as a head coach, I'm supposed to be that guy that says, we're going to take each game as it comes, and we're going to try to win more than we lose. Certainly, we're going to do that, but there is no reason why we can't be a worst to first kind of team. We have talent and be competitive, and
and build some pride in the program.
And build some pride in the program.
So you have a lot of freshmen. You have many seniors on the team this year?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I think we have about 15 of them.
Okay, all right.
And
but my point is that you're going to have some kids that are coming back next year too, and what you do this year is going to help spit into that,
every little bit helps, and that's we have an end goal in mind, and it might take a little while to get there, but certainly I feel confident that we're going to certainly do better than we've done in the past couple of years.
Just kind of switching to the bigger scene. Let's see. So your graduates here will some of them will go to play for Clemson maybe, or Florida State, or
something like that.
Maybe Framingham State. Or
Yeah.
Do you have any integration with the Framingham State program? They've been very successful.
And they've been great. Coach Kelly's got a great program up there. I've reached out to him. We've kind of gone back and forth communication. I mean, I'd be silly not to kind of see what he's been doing, because he's been so successful, and I would love to open up that relationship to be able to obviously send kids there that can play there.
He
but
said
also
the kids from Framingham all wanted to go to Westfield, and the kids from Westfield wanted to come here. So maybe you should working with the Westfield coach.
Maybe.
I talked with him last week. And, just looking as we last couple of minutes that we got here. Do you think the Patriots can really go unbeaten?
No, I don't. I mean, that's hard. I mean, it's the NFL. All those teams are really, really good. I mean, and it's such a sport that's dictated by who gets hurt and who doesn't get hurt. I mean, who knows what happens? They go out in their first game and somebody gets banged up, and then a lot of things change around. Again, that's what makes Belichick such a good coach, because he has interchangeable parts, and he can just kind of mix and match, and the guys know exactly what they're doing. But that's very, very hard to do, and at any level, but especially at the professional level, where hey, they all went to college, they all were studs in college, and they've all made the NFL rosters. There's only 53 on each team. They're pretty good teams out there. So to do that, that's tough. But if anybody could do it, certainly it'd be the Patriots.
You said you had a couple games on Sunday afternoon. That's going to compete with the Patriots.
Yeah, they're at 12 o'clock. So I think I looked at one. I don't think the Patriots. It's two. It's two. But one the Patriots play on Sunday night, and then the other one I think is a 4 o'clock game. So I think we're good.
See, I'm just trying to break down all the excuses people out there would have not.
They got none.
Well, the tickets are very expensive. That's why I'm not going. Right? That's $50 to sit on the center. Right? No, huh?
Not so much.
Oh, there's no parking.
No, not so much.
That's not going to work.
No, no room to sit. No, not that either.
No room to sit. The band isn't any good.
No.
The coach is an idiot. He's had 20 losing seasons.
That might be the case.
Not this year.
Not this year, anyway.
Well, anyway, look, football in Framingham has an opportunity to turn a corner. I mean, you were a part of a program that turned a corner at BU. You've had some success at Westfield, or at Westwood, I should say. Framingham is now going to be a city. We've got a lot of things to be excited about. And I think making football in Friday nights and maybe Sunday afternoon even be something people in Framingham ought to think about doing. It's and it's a place where you're going to know some of the people. You're going to know the people sitting next to you. It's just a fun event, and you might even know the concessionaires. You're going to know somebody in the band. This is a local event. It's something to be proud of, and I'm thrilled that we've got such a bright, energetic, successful person running the show here as the new sheriff in town. I wish you all the best of luck.
Appreciate it, Dave.
I've really enjoyed our
Thanks
conversation. We'll have you back for a post-mortem in November.
I don't know about mortem, but hopefully for a celebration. Let's do it that way.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. And the first game again is
September 8th against Norwood at 6:30 at Bowditch Field.
Bowditch Field, right on Union Avenue in beautiful downtown Framingham.
Can't miss it.
Don't miss it.
That's right.
Okay, thank you.